Hi everyone, this is a short presentation on the percentage quiz. Read the following paragraph and answer the questions that follow. King County includes several major cities like Seattle, Bellevue, Kirkland, Renton, and Kent, which means that the population of King County is much larger than just Seattle's population. The total population of King County is 2,079,967. Part of the unique quality of King County is that it has a large number of foreign-born people. In fact, there are 63,893 people from Mexico and Central America. In addition, there are 52,191 people from China and 40,617 from Eastern Africa, which includes Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Somalia. There are 12,080 people from the Middle East and 18,551 from Canada. 36,077 people in King County were born in India, while 30,073 are from the Philippines. It might be a surprise, but there are 35,749 people from Eastern Europe. Two countries with small representation are Taiwan, with 9,292 people, and Japan, with 8,944. Also, there are 30,476 Vietnamese people living in King County. This population of people who are not from the United States makes King County more diverse than other places in the state of Washington. Please fill in the following chart. So you can see that one of the things you can do is look at the information from the paragraph and then come down to the chart. Find this here. It says Mexico and Central America. We can find that same thing here with Mexico and Central America. Then we just have to see what's the number that's associated. In this case, it's 63,893. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back when my numbers are all filled in. Okay, now that I filled in that information, I want to go ahead and do my calculation for percent of the King County population. And one of the important numbers I need for that is the population of King County. And that number is right up here. The total population of King County is 2,079,967. I can highlight that right there. And that number is an important number for me because I need that number to figure out the percent of population for each of these groups. So we're going to look at this. We're going to say, let me change my color here. We're going to say that we have the population, and say from Mexico, and we want to divide that by King County population. I guess I should capitalize the K. King County population, and that's going to equal the percent of the King County population. So let's take a look at it over here. So we know that there are 63,893 people from Mexico and Central America, and we know that there are 2 million people in King County. I'm going to go over here to my calculator, pull it down for you to see it, and use a calculator for these things. So the population of Mexico and Central America is 63,893. I put those numbers in, and I want to use this symbol right here for division. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to divide by the population of King County, and that is 2,079,967. And I'm looking at my number here. So the number that I get is 0.0307. And I know that to make that into a percentage, I'm going to need to multiply by 100. So I'm going to come back here, click on the multiply. That's that asterisk symbol. And I'm going to multiply by 100. And now here is my percent, 3.07. Now if I only want to use one decimal place, probably what I'll do is call that 3.1%. If you answered 3%, that's okay too. If we go to one decimal place here, the answer though would be 3.1. Let's do another one. Let's look at the population of China, of the China-born population in King County. 52,191 divided by 2,079,967 equals 0.0250. And we write that as a percentage. We can come back here and multiply by 100, and that is equal to 2.5%, because we don't need to round up. That's a 0. It's not going to make that number bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more of these and say here we have 40,617 divided by 2,079,967, and that equals 0.0195. And I'm going to come back over here, multiply by 100, and now I have an answer of 1.95. If I round up from the 5, that will make that a 0, and we'll make that a 2. So I think I'm going to call this one 2%. Let's see, 36,077 divided by 2,079,967, and that gives us 0.0173. Oops, move that down there, 0.0173, and we'll go ahead and multiply that by 100, and we end up with 1.7% for the people born in India. The people from Eastern Europe, and that includes a lot of countries, so that's a lot of countries. 2,079,967, and that comes up to roughly the same number, which makes sense, right? Because India was 36,000, Eastern Europe 35,000, almost 36,000, so they're pretty close. And in this case, they actually come out. If I multiply by 100, notice what's been happening, that all I'm doing is moving the decimal point 2 places. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to move it here and one more over and get 1.7%. So that's a pretty even population. I'm going to go ahead and go down a little bit. For the Vietnamese population, let's see, 30,000 here. So it's going to be less than 1.7%, right? Let's see. 30,476 divided by 2,079,967. And there we go, our answer, 0.0146. 1.46. Okay, and we're going to move the decimal point over. 1, 2. Then we'll have to round up, right? There's a 6. We'll make that into a 5. That will be 1.5%, right? Then the last one that we have in this particular box is for people from the Philippines. 30,073, right? 30,073 divided by 2,079,967, and that equals here 0.0144. And let's see what that comes out to. See, we'll move it over 2 places. 1, 2. We don't need to round up. We have 1.4%. Now, we have a question about people who are from Korea who are living in King County. There are 19,651 people from Korea living in King County. What percent of the population are they? Well, we'll do the same thing here. 19,651 divided by 2,079,967. Let me put my commas in here to make things look neat. And that is equal to, I don't know, 19,651 divided by 2,079,967. And that equals 0.0094. And if we write that as a percent, that's going to be 0.9%. If that number makes you uncomfortable, If that number makes you uncomfortable, you can go ahead and round up to 1% for 1%. We have the same kind of question down here for what percent of the foreign-born population in King County is from the Middle East. If I go back up to the top, I will see that the population from the Middle East is right here. 12,080 people are from the Middle East. So I'm going to take that number back down here to answer my question. And I'm going to put that down here. And that is 12,080 divided by 2,079,967. I'm going to put in the commas to make the numbers look good. And then over here I'll do the calculation. 12,080 divided by 2,079,967. And that comes out to 0.0058. And we need to make that into a percent. So let's move the decimal point over. 1, 2, and we're going to get point. Well, it's 0.58, and if I look at this 8 here, I want to go ahead and round it up, and so I think I'll say 0.6%. And so those give you the answers for the quiz, and take a look at the video if you'd like, and then if you have questions, bring them into class.